Here we go.
Let's do it.
Do you feel like Tone Loc when you say that? Let's do this. No, he doesn't say that.
He does. He says, let's do it.
He does. Okay.
Yeah. And then the drum goes, boom, boom, boom. I can't beatbox.
What are you talking about? Of course you can. You just did. In fact, I was checking this website to make sure Tone Loc wasn't raising his hand. Was that Tone Loc? Did you have something you wanted to say? Yeah?
No.
About your favorite Trog song? Yeah. Feel free to bust out your Tone Loc at any point during the show. And if you got a young MC, I'd like to hear that too. All right, here we go. Hey everyone ever, and welcome to 20th Century Pop, the show where we try to understand the present while living in the past. My name is Tim Blevins.
And I am Bob Canning. And I guess we're talking about snacks today, Tim.
Wow, we got right into it. Imagine if we got right into it and then got right back out of it. But yeah, I guess we are. You don't want to do anything before that? You want to just jump right in? You don't want to have maybe a 38-minute conversation before the show begins?
I think we've handled that off mic already.
Off microphone.
So
I guess that's a dumb reference, actually, because the two people listening are going to be wondering, like, where's that 40 minutes? Where's that footage? It's not footage. It's audio. But you guess, so yes, welcome back, everyone. It's nice to have you on the show, Bob. It's nice to be on the show. It's been a couple weeks.
Yeah, good talking to
apparently,
you.
Yeah, it was good talking to you. All right. Well, you can check us out at 20podcast.com. You can subscribe to the show, and that's it. Sure. But you want to jump right into it. You said we're going to be talking about snacks. I do feel like it's good to get to the topic. I do feel like maybe we need to physically get to it, not just be at the topic, but
right.
Snacks. We're talking snacks on our pop culture podcast.
I mentioned it a couple weeks ago after we finished recording one of our last ones.
You mentioned snacks.
I did. I mentioned snacks because we've been talking about...
As a topic, you've mentioned snacks.
Yes, because we've been talking about movies and books and TV shows and music, and none of this can we eat. And I thought,
no.
Why don't we talk about something we ate in our youth, in our 20th century? I don't know why I thought of that, but it came into my head, and I then vocalized it, and you agreed.
I did agree, and. At the time, I was very excited for some reason because I thought, probably because of the reason you just said. It's a topic we haven't done. You're right. We've done movies and TVs and book, but we haven't done food. I guess we've never sat down and talked about Jack's Cheese Puffs or anything like that. So I thought that'd be great. And then today, in prepping to record, only momentarily, and this is not a knock. It's going to sound like a knock, but it's not.
That's fine.
But there was a brief period in getting ready, sitting down, thinking about recording where I was not into the idea. Only because I was like, what are we going to do? How do you, I don't want to just be a show where we're like, do you remember this? Sure do. That was fun. I had a mascot. Sure did. And that's the episode. So there was a sensation of, well, the fucking snacks. Throw a swear in there, but how are we going to talk about snacks? And interestingly enough, I still don't know how we're going to talk about snacks, but I was sort of curious in thinking about it to realize that snacks, food, treats, sweets, whatever, involve more senses than audio, hearing and visual.
Yeah.
This might involve taste or scent or I don't know if texture is a sense, but you understand. So that seemed interesting to me because when I think about my past, when I think about nostalgia, when I think about where I've been, it's all based on visuals and sounds, music and images, cartoon, music, comics. That's what it is. So snacks.
Well, it's
how do you want to handle this?
Well, it's good that that's how you speak of it. Because it is, we talk about hearing a song and having that sense memory. We talk about seeing an episode that we haven't seen in a while or an image we haven't seen in a while and bringing it right back to our youth. The snacks that I plan on talking about tonight are exactly that. It is something that will remind me of a moment in time or a season of time from my childhood, because that taste and even that visual of that snack is a sense memory, and it takes me right back to and sometimes it takes me back to a pop culture moment, sometimes it takes me back just to a family moment, but it all takes you back.
I never describe things with those senses. I never use taste or smell, unless I'm talking about farts, to really describe something. So in a way, I'm not a big food fan. I mean, I eat a fucking ton, and it shows. But I don't actually normally enjoy talking about food. I'm not someone I don't blog about food. I don't watch cooking shows. That doesn't necessarily stoke me. But this, I'm curious, I guess, because snacks are a big part of childhood. Snacks were something you got that you couldn't always pick yourself. So it was it was a treat. It was a gift. Why am I defining what snacks are? Jesus.
You're not defining what snacks are per se. You're defining what our take, why we're talking about snacks, because this blog or this podcast.
We're a podcast. We're mostly a podcast. We have show notes, but we're mostly a podcast. We're mostly a non-subscribed to podcast.
But we talk about our past, and we talk about moments in time.
Well, yes, we've said this 4 times.
We've said this 4 times. What do you like to eat?
Well, sure. The first, what an amazing topic. The one that came to mind first, I guess, when I was thinking, when I had the thought today, fuck, I got to talk about snacks with Bob for 45 minutes. I better make this fascinating because it's election day while we're recording this. The one I was just thinking of, the snack. Oh my God. And I'm only saying that because in the show notes, when I type up the show notes for this episode, this will be the segment that somehow the timestamp will be the reference of when we actually started talking about snacks. And it's minutes into an episode whose length can't be more than 40 minutes, because the topic that you came up with for us to do today is about just food that we ate as a kid. Maybe, and not like a meal. It's not like the meal I cooked or Easter dinner if you're religious. It's like, something in a little wrapper. Got some.
Just so you know, my train of thought, we had just finished our Halloween string of episodes.
Sure.
And I was thinking we could do a Halloween candy episode. But I knew that we weren't.
That's the same thing, by the way.
No, but I knew that we weren't.
The same conversation would be happening.
It's the same, but we've expanded it because we're beyond Halloween.
Expanded it. Yeah. We have gotten beyond Halloween.
We are so far beyond.
We were in it. Okay, yeah. So you were asking me what was my first snack?
Yes, your first ever snack.
Huh. I have to go back to freshly out of the womb. No, I've got a little list here of some snacks that mean something apparently to me, I guess. I don't know if they really do, but for the sake of doing a podcast, I got a few little snackaroos I could mention. Sure. You want me to go first? Talking about fucking snacks?
Go first.
All right. Well,
from your list.
Something I was thinking about, something that falls into the category of, I think, the taste and also really a texture of a snack is, here we go. Topps trading card gum.
Oh, yeah.
Do you remember that? You would get by the way, I know I started the show by saying I don't want to do anything where it's like, do you remember this? But I just made that request of you to wonder if you remember cards. Trading cards wrapped up in a little pack. Do you remember that? Or did something block it out of you because it was tragic? Oh, Topps is a company that produced trading cards, baseball cards.
They didn't make good gum, though.
Well, but it was part of the pack.
Right.
Here's the thing, like I got Star Wars trading cards as a kid. Well, Empire Strikes Back, Return of the Jedi, we didn't have Star Wars, but we collected those. And Howard the Duck, I remember collecting, and probably other ones. And you would get these like wax packets, you open them up and inside you get your cards. But the thing that hit me when I would open the package, the first thing you catch would be like that scent of this, kind of bland cardboard, like, like almost like a tongue depressor, thin strip of pink gum. And it had like weird little white splotches on top of it. It looked very pale. It just sat on top of these ink printed cards.
It was solid. It was, if you don't bend it, it breaks.
No, this is a fragile snack.
Well, no, you think of a stick of gum, you can bend it. You remember those commercials where they show, the double mint gum going into somebody's mouth and it would bend into their mouth. These didn't bend; these would break.
Yeah,
that's what happened.
That is how the gum worked. But
these weren't
it
juicy
wasn't good. Fruit. No, these are not juicy fruit. Nor Wrigley's, nor Hubba Bubba, or Bubbalicious. But this gum, I guess, why I'm mentioning it, the whole pack smelled like the gum. The cards kind of smelled like the gum. There was just a sheen to it. It was the most disposable thing. I mean, trading cards, I don't know if they're disposable, but at a time where you couldn't just go online and pull up pictures, you weren't searching for cool shots of characters. Trading cards, for me, might be a chance to see Boba Fett, to see an Ewok, to see Jabba the Hutt, and have a little still. But it was all put together with this gum, and I would open it up, and I would throw it right in my mouth, because what else are you going to do with it? You're right, it's falling apart.
Yeah.
And I would chew it, not because I enjoyed it, not because it was a snack, but because it was part of...
Because it was there.
Because it was part of, it was part of the deck of cards. It was part of the collecting, I think. I'm mentioning this because, like, collecting those trading cards was sort of my introduction to this collecting mentality that I have now with action figures, comics, and DVDs.
Yeah.
And I don't associate food with that. I never ate doing that. Plenty of foods come to mind for, like, TVs and cartoons. We'll probably talk about that in a bit. But something about these trading cards and this gum, I mean, that's the only reason I was chewing it was part of this pack. But that excitement of opening it and, what are the 9 cards, shuffling through, it's such a brief thing. It's such a quick thing. But as a kid, it was huge because, buying a pack of cards was all of my money, perhaps.
Yeah.
Not, because you're not making money as a child. It's weird to have a memory tied into that taste, but more so that scent. Like, I really just remember that stick of gum scent, and it's part of these little thin cards now, and they hold on to the scent. You can catch it, you can get a whiff of it, and it does a sense memory. And I don't know, it just, I know we started talking about how we're going to talk about this. That's sort of the key, is that this gum, this snack food, it wasn't the regular thing of a meal. It wasn't something you went in your cabinet and pulled out, and it wasn't something you would ever ask for or like. It was tied into this deck of trading cards. And it is so grinded into my head. Like, I can't think of the last time I had any of that gum.
Well, that was going to be my next question. Like, have you had this sense memory recently? Like, is there any smell that reminds you of it?
Oh, sure. Trading cards. Like, I'll look at some of my old trading cards. They still have that scent. And it's the scent of this gum. And so that does trigger something. I mean, the scent then puts me, especially with like Star Wars cards, when I think about Return of the Jedi cards, the scent of those cards puts me back in this tent in our backyard when we were kids. One summer we set up a tent in the backyard, and myself, my brother, and his friend Jimmy Mello all were collecting these Return of the Jedi cards all summer. And so that whole visual of where we were, I guess the heat of being in this tent in the summer, but just the scent of the gum. Yeah, it's weird. It's a definite memory that's aided by taste, which never happens for me. There are very few memories of mine that have that memory of taste. And yeah, it's not a good snack. It's not something I would pursue, but it takes me back. I don't, and you know it, right? You seem to know what I'm talking about.
Oh yeah. I mean, I didn't collect those cards. I collected Garbage Pail Kids.
Mm-hmm. And they come with gum?
They also came with gum. So I'm there, and my brother, he collected wrestling cards, and so the gum was a big part of our youth, and we would generally, I remember these were things that we would go, and I'm not exactly sure how old we were. We were like 12, maybe 10, 11, 12. These were trips that we would make ourselves to the store that sold these. We would ride our bikes there, and we would have our own money, and we would make our own purchase. So it seemed like a grown-up kind of thing that we were doing because we were purchasing something all on our own, no other adults around, picking out whatever it was we wanted to pick out. So yeah, we definitely, you'd chew the gum. You probably would chew the gum in the store as you opened up, right after you opened up the pack. You would be chewing the gum while you looked at what you got, and then you would spit the gum out because it's lost its flavor by the time you're actually ready to leave the store. That was my first taste of being independent and not having someone decide for me what I'm going to be getting, what I'm going to spend with my money, or what I'm going to buy with my money. I got there on my own, and once I got there, I decided what I wanted. Yeah, it was a good summer.
So what do you got on your list for snacks then? And nothing from childhood or anything from that era?
Well, this is a childhood era snack of mine, and we had talked about possibly talking about snacks that were only from our youth that we no longer
might keep
eat.
a snack count to see how many times
we should do
snack.
that, a little ding. And so we had talked about possibly just having something that we no longer eat. But this is something I still eat, and this is something millions upon millions of people eat, but I have to talk about it because it was my candy of choice growing up and still is today, and that's M&Ms.
Yeah, no, that's what you're kind of known for. I feel like in a way that's your thing. You had an M&M dispenser in school. People
that's what
get
I'm
you
known
M&M
for
packets.
by Tim. I don't think I'm known for that by anyone but you, since we've lived together and you've seen my M&M guy, as he is referred to, the M&M guy.
Is it not something that one of those things that's just tagged to you? Like, yeah,
I don't think so.
M&M's an easy go-to. Don't you always get a bag of M&M's for Christmas and for your birthday?
That's true. I think my family understands it. I don't think that there is anyone that I work with or anyone else that I went to college with besides you that would say, "Oh, M&M's. Well, I wonder if Bob Canning's around." That's just you.
Well, spot on impression. Thank you very much. Really, I just feel like that was, and it just brings up that thing though too. I guess like you do get them as gifts though, right? Like that is something your parents always get you a bag.
Bags of M&Ms. There is a
Do you
picture.
really like them that much, or did that just become the go-to thing? Like now it's like, how do you say no? You do.
Yeah.
Still.
I mean, I don't know. Maybe it was pushed upon me, but I don't have a memory of not loving M&Ms, and I still love M&Ms.
I mean, that's a big candy. I don't know why that's a big candy. That people seem to really like it. It's a simple thing. It's chocolate. It's frosting. Simple. Sure.
That's right.
Not frosting, but yeah.
But the thing that I wanted to talk about in regards to M&Ms is that like today, you're talking about getting it as a gift. I would get it as a gift because sometimes that would be that'd be the only M&Ms I'd get for months at a time. Like now it's like anytime I want M&Ms, I can get M&Ms. And when I was in college and living on my own, it's like I had an M&M dispenser. That thing had to be full. People had to be able to enjoy M&Ms, including myself. I'd have to walk past it and eat M&Ms. As a kid, they weren't that available to me. I mean, they were there, but we didn't buy candy all the time. And that's why M&Ms became a gift for me, because everyone in my family knew I loved them. And so they would get a giant bag, and then I would eat them from December until the end of February if I could make it last.
Yeah, I guess candy as a gift is something that's kind of lost its pull, because you're right. I can go to a store whenever I want because I'm an adult and grab these things. I guess there was something about being given that Snickers bar, those Reese's Pieces, or in this case, those M&Ms. That was, well, there was Halloween, like you said, that just passed.
Yeah.
That was all these candy in different kind of wrappers. But it's strange. It's strange that candy was a gift, Like, don't eat too much candy, but here's your gift of it. It was a special thing. It was this thing that was poison for your teeth that you were told not to eat too much of, and yet on the holidays it was forced upon you. And in your case, it became your go-to. Like, yeah, give him that thing that's gonna rot his teeth. He loves it.
And if there was a special, usually television event whether it was a holiday cartoon special or a movie that was going to be showing, on NBC for the first time since it was in the theaters and we didn't see it in the theaters. If there was something that we were planning to see on television that was going to be for the whole family, we would get M&Ms. Or I would get M&Ms. My mom would basically take us to the store and we get to pick out our candy. I would always get the M&Ms. And traditionally, and I think a lot of people would do this, I would divide up the colors. At this time, it was like my favorite color combination of brown, yellow, green, orange, tan, or light brown. So it was just those 5 colors.
I can't wait till we get to Lifesavers to do those colors.
But it was before red came back. I know red was there for a while and then left. It was before red came back, and I think blue is one of the colors now. There was no blue. But yeah, I mean, to this day, if I have M&Ms, I feel like I'm wasting them. Like they should be for something special because that's what they were for when I was a kid. That's when I was watching.
Does that happen again, though? Do you get, like, I hear what you're saying because that's the memory. The memory is that you got them in these special events. But right, if you can get a fucking bag of, you probably have a bag of M&Ms in the house right now. I mean, it's
don't
after Halloween.
Actually.
You don't?
No.
So my analogy or my story is broken?
Well, that's not true. That's not true. My kids there are the minis. They've got their candy from Halloween. That's still here. And there are M&Ms in that bag. But I personally don't have a stash of M&Ms.
So outside of the nostalgia, though, is there a rush to eating M&Ms? Do you feel something from the fucking M&M when you're eating it by having them in the house? Or is it more just looking back on it, yep, this is what I was?
I think it's the nostalgia. I mean, it's chocolate candy. Chocolate tastes like chocolate.
But it didn't always. There was a time where this was the thing to go to. This meant that Raiders of the Lost Ark was going to be on TV, or this meant that you just got back from the grocery store or somebody was giving you a gift. Like what?
It's still
when did that change?
It's still the only candy I buy at the theater if I go and see a movie. And here's the thing with the M&Ms. I have like these little food quirks with it. So I won't start eating the M&Ms until the movie starts. So I don't eat them during the trailer. I only wait.
Oh, so just until people are trying to listen.
Exactly. That's when I'll start chewing those. But I don't chew M&Ms. I suck on M&Ms. I don't know if that's how you eat them, but that's how I eat them. That's not how
anyone else eats them, but that's fine. They're not ice cubes. They're not thumbs.
I let them melt in my mouth, not in my hands, so to speak.
Is that what they encourage you to do in the commercials?
That's what I thought. I thought I was getting a lesson on how to eat M&Ms.
Oh, then that's stuck.
But I'm not a chewer of M&Ms.
So, but it's not. You said I'm putting words into your mouth to try to figure something out. But I think you just said it's nostalgia. Your love for M&Ms. Yeah. It's almost like a routine. So when did that shift happen? When did that change? Like, for me, the Chops trading gum, they just stopped doing it. They stopped doing it, and then eventually they stopped buying cards. So that's only in the past. If I got a pack of cards today and I had that gum in it, I probably would chew it, but that got removed from me. But M&Ms, they've been in your life this whole time. When did it make the switch to nostalgia?
I don't know. It could be when I was able to have access to M&Ms whenever I wanted.
Because they're less special then.
Because
there's nothing particularly
exactly.
thrilling.
And so even though I had the M&M guy, and I think in college, my mother kept me supplied. She would send care packages, and there was always bags of M&Ms in there.
Now, wasn't that exciting, though, to get the care package with the M&Ms in it?
And it was exciting. And so you move on from that. You become an adult. You are able to purchase M&Ms whenever you want, and it's less exciting. And so for me, the purchase and eating of M&Ms is sort of to trigger those memories of gifts from my mother and Halloween specials, laying out on the on the floor of my living room, dividing the colors and eating them from least amount of colors to most amount of colors.
But it's odd because it's nostalgia.
Yeah.
Like this, something that's on my list here. It was my favorite breakfast cereal growing up. It's still my favorite breakfast cereal. It was the one meal I could make by myself as a child. I fucking Captain Crunch Berries. Do you know that cereal?
Captain Crunch Berries.
The Captain Crunch, the squares, and then it's got the 2 different colored balls, sugary balls. That was my favorite cereal as a child. And I went through like Apple Jacks and Frosted Flakes
Crisps.
and different things. Cookie Crisp. I loved Cookie Crisp. But Captain Crunch berries, I don't know. But I mean, cereal in general is something I still love. I mean, as a kid, I loved it because, like I said, it's something I could make myself. It was breakfast, so I could get up before anyone else and get it. And it was, it was like the only meal we were allowed to kind of eat away from the table. So it was kind of like Saturday morning cartoons. It was like sitting in front of rented VCR tapes, with this bowl of milk and cereal. But, and Captain Crunch Berries, that's a painful cereal. That's a coarse, hard, cuts, jagged, cuts the top of your mouth kind of cereal. It hurts. And it still hurts when I eat it. But I don't know, cereal is the most comforting thing in the world to me. Still, like a bowl of cereal, like coming back from the store with a box of cereal, sitting down, pouring a bowl and putting some milk in it. And that's the thing, like I hate milk. I'll drink oat milk, but whatever we have in the house, or, oat, soy, regular milk, I'll pour it on cereal and I'll mix it all together. And if it's Crunch Berries, it hurts so much, especially now with my teeth and gums all being fucked up. But nothing comforts me more than a bowl of cereal and sitting in front of something, reading something, however it is.
Do you have cereal every day? And is it Crunch Berry?
I don't have it every day. I'll buy a box every now and then if I'm at the store. It's not something I think of that has changed. It's not stocked for breakfast every day. I used to have it every day as a child. But I'll pick it up every now and then.
Yeah.
And sometimes it's a little bit of nostalgia. It's driven by, there's a Star Wars top in this box. I'll get this kind. But that itself is not just the nostalgia of it. I mean, I have that because I described it, what it meant to eat cereal as a kid. But it's still this idea of this food is comforting to me. It's the same impact that I can feel. And that's odd to me because it's gross. Cereal is kind of gross. Captain Crunch is pretty gross and not good for you. And again, weird tasting, but so fulfilling. Like, why is something like that fulfilling? Like, do you feel complete? Like, I know food is supposed to nourish us and build us. And none of this is going to, because it's all unhealthy food. But I feel more content if I just ate a bowl of Captain Crunch. Were M&Ms doing that for you or no?
I don't know if M&Ms were doing that for me, but I mean, talking about cereal, I'm right there with you. Cocoa Puffs was my brand.
Okay.
And yeah, I would still, when I was if I was having a special something going on, or if I've been stressed out, I might pick up a box of Cocoa Puffs to have for breakfast, for dinner, for a late night snack. I think because when we ate the cereal, when the cereal really became a part of our lives, we were kids protected by our family, that, we were watching Saturday morning cartoons. We were safe. We were home. And I think that sense memory and that the smells and the tastes and the feeling of that is just good. It feels good to remember that time in your life where you've got no other cares, and as stressed out as your parents might be in the other room doing the taxes or whatever, you're cool. You got nothing to worry about. Your homework's done. You're watching cartoons.
But I don't think it's just that. I think I still have a real comfort from it. And I'm not next door to my parents doing their taxes anymore.
But what I'm saying, don't you think that comfort comes from the memory of the safety of that experience, the safety of your youth?
I think it's there, but I mean, I feel like, again, the Topps trading gum, that taste would take me back. When I'm sitting there with a bowl of cereal, I'm not necessarily thinking of, Captain N the Games Master is on and I'm 15 and I got my cereal. Like, that's not hitting me. It is sincerely a calming thing to do. And I guess I do wonder, is that just childhood, or is there something, is that always something, because as a child, it was comforting for the reasons in the moment. Is everything nostalgia, I guess, is what I'm wondering? Is anything I like just because I did as a kid and we don't like things as adults? Because that's what it's sounding like. I'm only going to like the cereal now because I liked it as a kid versus I just fucking like it. Cereal is comforting.
That could be. That could be, but I don't have a memory. I'm not going out and seeking new cereal. If I'm going to buy cereal, I'm buying the 3 cereals that I ate as a kid. It's Cocoa Puffs, it's Cocoa Pebbles, or it's Wheaties.
Wheaties. I never had those. Do you let your kids eat sugary cereals?
I do, because they don't eat breakfast, and I will do anything to get them to eat breakfast. And so, like, I would take them. There was a time where there was nothing they liked. They didn't want scrambled eggs. They didn't want fried eggs. They didn't want pancakes. They didn't want waffles. There was nothing they would eat. So I would take them to the grocery store, and I would say, look at all these pretty boxes. Look at all the colors. Look, there's chocolate. Look, there's rainbows. Pick something out. You need to eat something in the morning. I just wanted to get them into the habit of eating a breakfast. I didn't care what it was. And so, yes. Did they? No. They did not get into cereals. They still don't really eat cereals. We've got one box of cereals. It's Lucky Charms. It's in the house. And it's eaten.
I don't like marshmallow cereals.
You do or you don't?
I do not.
Yeah, I've never liked marshmallow cereals. They and still, even though it's in the house, only one kid eats it, and maybe once or twice during the week. Yeah, she'd prefer to have toast with butter. That's what she eats for breakfast.
We should have her on our toast episode that's coming up, our special 2-hour anniversary celebration toast episode. Square toast, mostly square toast.
With or without crust?
With, I guess. Yeah. But is Cocoa Puffs on your list? Is that why you're bringing that up?
Cocoa Puffs is not on my list. I didn't have a cereal on my list.
So, okay. You didn't have the cereal. What's next there?
I wanted to jump ahead because we're talking about like our kid snack foods.
That's funny because I wanted to wrap it up. No, I'm just joking.
I'm going to jump to college. Because,
something from college. Sure.
Yeah. In college, again, talk about being independent. You're completely independent. I moved away from home. I'm in a big city for the first time in my life. And so I needed some comfort food. And yes, my mother would send some M&Ms, but I'd eat those very quickly, and I would share them so they wouldn't last very long. And so I had to find some local comfort food. And not that it turned out to be actually local, but we would walk down to just on the corner was what was the name of the store at the corner? The convenience store.
I think I just called it the convenience store. Corner convenience, maybe?
It wasn't corner convenience. It was something else. But there's and somebody that's listening who went to college with us, please comment and tell us what the fuck this is called. Because I had the name like 3 days ago when I was thinking about this topic. But we'd go to the convenience store, and it was just a convenience store.
Save it for our Names of Places episode.
We should. That's where I would go and get my Pepsi. That's where I would go to get Little Debbie fudge rounds. Which
fudge round is
which prior to this convenience store and prior to living in Boston, I did not know Little Debbie fudge rounds existed. I was more of a Hostess guy in my youth.
Were you a Hostess guy?
I was. I was a ho-ho
You're a Hostess guy.
And a Hostess cupcake guy.
I'm going to name some Hostess things too. Chocodiles, King Dons.
So, but when I saw these soft cookie type things, cookie cakes, I'm not even sure because they're too soft to be cookies. They're not soft enough to be cake. So they're like these cookie cakes that have a little frosting on top, kind of in a squirrely little design. Inside these 2 cookie cakes is like a soft, not frosting, not whipped. It's thicker than Cool Whip, but it was like this chocolate goo, basically. It's not fudge. None of this is fudge, but it is chocolate. And so I picked those up, and it turned out that I fucking loved it. And it was what I needed in that freshman year of being a little scared, a little alone, not knowing the city, not knowing people. I could buy 6 of these for $1 and then go back to my room, sit there alone, and eat 6 fudge rounds, wondering what I've done to move to Boston. And so
it's another comfort food. I mean, snacks are solely comfort food. They're not social. I don't think we've named anything that we really shared that we're hip with sharing. These are all things that bring us back to something.
yes.
The fudge round, which you just described in atomic detail, seems to be one of these things because it's tied into a horribly the mind scalding moment of life, the moving to a new place, coming to college.
Very stressful.
What am I doing here? Like you're saying, and this fudge round, which I can't picture in my head. I wish I had some sort of a description to work off of. This fudge round is seems like key to that. So this is just eliciting more comfort.
Yeah.
Not nourishment. That's the thing. Like none of this is nourishing. None of this is healthy. We're not
No
going to
ants
go
on a log
jogging.
for us.
No ants on a log for us. But it's all of this is crap food that was just to put us at ease. That's what we think of when we first think of snacks. Do you still eat fudge rounds?
I have not had a fudge round since leaving college. And
maybe you're comforted then. Maybe they did their thing.
They did their job. Yeah, no, I ate fudge rounds freshman and sophomore year because we lived right around the corner from that convenience store. Something Mart, if I'm not mistaken.
Tune in next week for names of places.
And then when we moved across town to the dorms our junior year, I kind of think I stopped eating them around that time because the marts nearby did not have them. And I felt more comfortable. I was very much at home in Boston by that time, and I didn't need the fudge round to make me feel better.
But why isn't an apple comforting? Why aren't grapes or just some fresh air comforting? Why is the sugary crap that honestly I'll still eat now, but it makes me feel so ill?
Well, isn't there there's science behind all this, isn't it? Isn't it that sugary crap? Doesn't that send endorphins, off your brain and down your spine? And
does it? I don't know. I don't know how. I mean, I know what's in the fudge round. I just don't know how it works.
Yeah. I think there is some science to it. I'm not going to get into that because I don't know the details. But I think there's that aspect that you're going to feel better faster. You're going to have that immediate reaction chemically to a fudge round more than you would an apple. More than you would.
But do you have even a fond memory of a celery stick, applesauce? Just a nice memory, just a healthy little thing. It's garbage.
I have a little bit of a memory with applesauce. My grandmother made homemade applesauce.
Okay.
I have memories there, but that's nostalgia. That's my grandmother's applesauce.
Why is this garbage? What we're talking about. And this isn't to mock your choice. This is an honest question. Why is the garbage sweet so bad for you food that we're just going to hate ourselves, at least now? I don't know if I did back then. I hate myself for eating. I hate myself when I eat chocolate. I hate myself if I eat a donut.
I don't think I could bring myself to eat a fudge round today. Mm-hmm. I know how bad that is for me.
But why was it this saving grace thing? Why trash? Why is it always soda and sugar and candy?
I really think it's tied to the stress of the moment or the joy of the moment and the chemical reaction that we have eating those sweets. I think it's there is that immediate response. Like you feel good eating ice cream. You don't feel great, chomping on a stuff. I feel good eating ice cream. Yeah. You hate ice cream?
I think I do, but it's not like I get getting ice cream and I do it from time to time. I don't think I like it. I mean, one of my favorite snacks as a child, another since we're doing a snack episode.
We are.
And the thing that, I think we should. I think we should work up to a snack episode. Chocodiles. Have you ever had a chocodile?
I don't think I have had a chocodile.
Did you just fall off your microphone?
I'm so shocked.
Well, it's a hostess
I recognize the name chocodile.
Yeah.
But I don't recall what a chocodile is.
Well, it's a Hostess product. Hostess, known for, Hostess probably most known for making Twinkies. And to start off, I'll say I hate Hostess Twinkies. They're gross.
Don't like Twinkies, but I love Ho-Hos.
Well, those That's fine. I've read about dinosaurs. I don't know the alienist. I mean, what do you want? I don't. But yes, that's good. I'm glad that's the case. We don't have to talk about crocodiles. You want to talk king dons, ho-hos, snowballs?
Give me some more
yodels?
crocodile info there, Timmy.
Well, I just what a crocodile is, or was, because I don't know if they still make them. It was a Twinkie encased in chocolate. Hostess donut chocolate, not a runny chocolate glaze or anything, but like a hard shell of chocolate. And it had this alligator mascot that might have been racist, kind of supporting it. They came in just single packs or boxes of those single packs. And my grandmother, growing up, always had crocodiles in her pantry for when we came over. They were the treats we got. And I, again, loved them there. I would never eat one now. Right. I would never go near one now. I'm a little nauseous thinking about one now.
Sure.
And again, I hated Twinkies, but there was something. I mean, this is the one I get. I understand my obsession with crocodiles. It was a sweet at my grandmother's house that she was saying, here. It was an adult who was breaking the laws of sugar's bad for you, it's just for treats, just saying, here you go. You want a crocodile? Here's 2. And that's how I talk about snacks. Sorry, I'm really trying here.
No, that's exactly it.
I'm giving it such effort. I just can't. I just read my notes verbatim for crocodiles. With the pauses and everything.
But that's why I think we got excited when we initially had this concept of talking about talking about snacks of our youth, because they hold precious memories. A lot of these do. A lot of these just take you back to moments of time and people. And
that's all nostalgia. That's everything we talk about on this show.
Right.
I guess.
And why is that so bad?
Because it's fattening. Because I just had a tooth extracted. Yeah. This might be some nostalgia that's not good for us, I guess. It may not be good.
Yeah, this isn't something we can go back to.
Candy.
We can't have
well,
binge.
I do with cereal. I do go back to cereal.
We can't binge on crocodiles.
They were called crocodiles.
Yes.
Crocodiles are the animals. Like alligators.
I don't think my kids are going to have... I don't know. I don't think they're going to have anything like this, though.
Is that you or is that them? Like, is it not getting into your house? The way it got into your house? The setups might be different.
I think it's... Here's the thing. I think some of it gets into the house more than it did when I was a kid. Like the M&Ms, for instance, those were treats. And my kids seem to have treats all the time. And that's my fault, I guess. But yeah, like there doesn't seem to be a time where they're not eating something sweet. And that's on me. And so maybe there'll be something that they stop eating and then we'll remember and they'll have this nostalgia for food. But there doesn't seem to be anything that I can see, but I'm not them. So I don't know. I doubt my mother thought, well, I'm sure Robert will be talking about M&Ms in 40 years.
On a medium flat platform that doesn't yet exist. Something digital, like the clock in my room. Did you have anything else on your list?
I did. I had one more thing, a couple of things actually, just to.
Oh, okay.
But they're grouped together. There just were some things that were very local that we grew up with.
Like Spanish for crazy?
No. Local with an L at the end.
Okay.
And there's one in particular, and I think I've shared them with you. I can't recall if you'll remember this, but did I ever share a candy with you that was called a turkey joint?
No.
And it's laughable. It is a ridiculous name for a candy. But there was a candy company, Nora's Candy Shop or something like that in central New York that would make this candy. It came in a jar, just like, it looks like a spaghetti sauce jar. And they would be these long silver, basically looking pieces of candy. So the candy was this silver candy, and then inside is chocolate and nuts. And there, because of the nuts, the candy isn't just a straight tube, so it kind of bends a little bit. I guess it looks like a bone, and maybe that's where they get their turkey joint name. I'm not sure. But it would only come out around the holidays, or at least that I was aware of. I would only see it at the holidays. And it was a very special thing. It wasn't cheap. It was very special. And so if it was in the house and you got to have some, that was just amazing. And at first, when I was a kid, I did not like it. It was too crunchy. It stuck to my teeth. Didn't like it at all. But it was something my family enjoyed. It was something lots of families in the community enjoyed. And so every year around Thanksgiving, you'd see them again and you would try them again. And as I got older, I realized how good they were. And it just became this thing that every year you could not wait until the turkey joints were on sale again. And that's nostalgia all over the place, because it's the holiday season. It's a family tradition. And it's just local to my community, my family. I mean, not just my family, just the central New York area. I can't wait for you to put a link in the show notes to take people to the website that sells turkey joints that you can buy and have shipped across the country to wherever you are, because they are so good. They are so delicious.
Portions of 20th century pop were made possible by turkey joints.
Did you have anything like that? Was there anything that was just in your community? Like just a local bakery or something that just sold the best cookies or anything like that?
No, although I wouldn't perceive it, because I don't think so, because we didn't have a bakery in our town, but maybe nearby something, but I can't think of it. But no, what you're saying and how you're describing it brings up a difference in us, or something about us, that everything I experienced as a child was solely mine. It wasn't like, this is the town's this is the nation's this. Like, I kind of shunned those things. Like if somebody says, this is Connecticut's official, grain, I don't want that grain. I couldn't, or whatever. So no, I don't think so. I don't. Maybe the gum, the trading card gum, because I was sharing that experience with my brother and his friend. But no, these things were mine. So it's private to me. But it sounds like this. I keep wanting to say turkey in a straw. What is it called? Turkey joint.
Turkey joints.
That was a family thing.
It was definitely a family thing. And I think as I've gotten older, it's become more communal, because, as a kid, you see it in your living room or your grandmother's dining room. And you don't know that other people in the city are having these. You don't know that other people in central New York are having these. But then as you get older and you see that they're for sale and you see other people buying them. And then now that I'm older and I've moved away from central New York, and there are videos of people on YouTube sharing them with people for the first time. And it's like, yes, people are sharing the turkey joints. That's awesome. So it's like, as I've gotten older and further away from my early memories of this snack, it's become more and more special, I think, and more shared.
So sum up that experience, because I guess why did we just talk about snacks? We each have a different relationship with these memories of snacks. What you just said contradicts my view of pop culture. What you just said, the growth of it, the realizing that other people have this and they're sharing the videos and stuff, that to me is pop culture death. That kills it for me.
That kills it for you. Yeah. And we've talked about this with actual media too, like the cult movement, like when we did Monster Squad recently. It's a kind of a similar thing. Like that was just my movie as a kid. And then as you get older and you move out into the world and you experience and meet other people that also saw that movie, and then you find that there are cults following that movie. That grows and grows and grows. And yeah, for some people, you want to join that cult. For others, it's suddenly not as special to you when everybody else is enjoying it. And I think it maybe depends on what the item is. Turkey joints, I love that everybody's enjoying it. Monster Squad, it's still good. I'm never going to join that cult. I'm never going to go and watch it in the theater with a bunch of people. I'll just keep watching it myself.
Portions of today's 20th Century Pop were brought to you by previous episodes of 20th Century Pop. No, I think that's good. I mean, do you have anything else you'd like to add about snacks here?
I don't think so, except that we did it. We talked about snacks.
And we talked. There was a little bit more to that. But yeah, we talked snacks. Way to go. I'm not going to go have any, but, we talked about it. And if you like that, if you like hearing people succeed in talking about snacks, or are curious to if we talk about other things, check out 20popcast.com then. It's the website of this show that's wrapping it up right now. If you go to the website, you can always find the most recent episode right there, screaming, if you will, on the main page. You also find links to all of our past episodes. If you enjoy the show and you want to hear it every week, there are also links on the page to subscribe to us on iTunes, on Google Play, on Stitcher, and other Android apps. So you can subscribe to us. You can follow us on Twitter at 20popcast. You can follow us on Instagram at 20popcast as well. You can follow up what I'm saying with Bob saying something here.
Yes, follow us. I am on Twitter as well at RHCanning. Interact with us, comment, send us your tweets, tag us, and get a conversation going. Let us know your favorite snacks and what they mean
send us
to
links
you.
to other shows doing snack episodes.
They're out there.
I know, I don't want to hear them. I hate hearing people talk about food. I'm surprised we did this. Good job. Because honestly, it grosses me out to talk about food. I don't like it when people do that. And also I get annoyed with people who are foodies, I guess is the term that they use, where they just can't shut up about the food they eat, as if they discovered how to go to a restaurant and everyone else should follow. Oh, going to a restaurant. Hate it. I like snacks though, so thanks.
Snacks are good.
Thanks for that. Thanks for snack. No, thanks for that. Snacks are good. Teeth are bad. Snacks are good. This episode, probably somewhere in the middle of those two extremes. Whew. I am sugar crashing. That's what I'm doing. Do you have any references or analogies to snacks you want to make?
Toot!
Or you just not?
I was going to do the toot.
Well, you did.
Haven't done the toot in a while. But yeah, but you talked over the toot.
No, I think I'm going to cut it at the toot. I was done talk over that.
Oh, good. Then you can cut it at the toot. And you were saying something, but you can drop that out.
I can do whatever I want. I'm editing this. Whatever I want. Except for this week, it's what you wanted. Snacks.
You agreed to snacks.
I did.
I suggested snacks. You agreed to snacks.
No, you did. And look what happened. We did an episode about snacks. I bet
this is going to be the most popular episode we've ever done.
The snack one?
Yeah, absolutely.
You know what the most popular episode we've ever done is?
Huey Lewis.
Yeah, or was, last I checked.
Oh, nice.
That's odd, right?
It is odd, because we weren't even really... I mean, maybe you were better at it, but I wasn't great at tagging and promoting as I am now when I actually bring myself to do it.
I mean, I can agree with you. But anything else I say is going to sound cruel. No, I sure. Do you think you're saying we've gotten better is what I heard you starting to say
yes.
in promotion. I don't know if this episode is proof of that.
This episode...
We've gotten better.
I'm going to promote this episode up the wazoo, which is a good name for a snack. Get yourself a wazoo.
Yes. Yes. All right, I'm gonna hit stop recording.
Oh, Tim.